the Profit Protector Pro Facebook group, and welcome to this month's Profit Protector Pro deep dive training webinar. So this is your opportunity to learn lots about Profit Protector Pro and what it can do for your business, learn about some of the features, see how well you can utilize them, as they may well be able to help you. So my name is Matt. If you've watched one of these webinars before, you will have definitely seen me before. You might have seen me in a YouTube video or heard me on a podcast. But yeah, my name is Matt. Welcome to the Profit Protector Pro deep dive training webinar. So what we're going to be doing in this session is we're going to be looking at 5 different features all to do with Profit Protector Pro. We're going to be discussing them in the video and discussing them afterwards. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comment section, and I will do my very best to answer them. So without any further ado, I think we should crack on with the first video. So the first one is a little bit different. So it's more advice and guidance in general, as opposed to using an actual Profit Protector Pro feature. So this one is all about advising you on how to set your minimum and maximum prices for your items. Now, of course, as I mentioned in the video, I can't tell you what exactly to set. Nobody can. The decision is completely yours, but it's important to understand various factors before you go ahead and set your minimum and maximum prices. Don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. And I believe that there should be a link somewhere whereby if you click that, I can see who exactly has commented, so I know who that is. So let's crack on with the first video, and we'll come back afterwards and discuss it a little bit before we move on. So this is some advice on setting minimum and maximum prices. See you in a little bit. Video, I just wanted to give you a bit of guidance when it comes to setting your minimum and maximum prices. Now, obviously, I can't sit here and tell you what exactly to set for your min and max prices, but hopefully this guidance helps you with making your own decisions and helps you understand some of the things that you definitely need to avoid. So you can set your minimum and maximum pricing on the repricing page in Profit Protector Pro. When you do set this, you will have the Save All Price Changes button appear at the bottom, so make sure that you save as you go along, or there is the Save All Price Changes button at the top of the repricing page. So either one, just make sure that you save it, or you might add in the min and max price in the bulk inventory page, or you might have set up min and max rules to get Profit Protector Pro to calculate this for you. But if you're setting your own, here's a couple of things to consider. So let's take a look at the minimum price first. Now, the minimum price should still be a price that you're happy to sell at. So there might be occasions where Profit Protector Pro will have no choice but to be at your minimum price. Let's say it's tried to bump up the price several times, but the competition on that listing is really persistent and really fierce, and it ends up making sales at that minimum price. Then it should still be a price that you're happy to sell at. You should also consider things like the break even as well. So your break even is exactly that, the point where if you sold for that price, you wouldn't be making a profit nor a loss. So it's usually the total of your buy price and all of the fees and costs. So selling for your break even price should be a last resort. Let's say you've got some stock that you really need to shift, and you just can't do it for a better price. If you do sell for your break even, it's not amazing because obviously it's not a profit, but at least it's not a loss in your business. And obviously you want to be making a profit, so you need to set your minimum price above your break even. You also need to make sure that when you set your min and max price parameters, that you have it so that way the buy box is within range. So if the buy box is outside of your parameters, obviously Profit Protector Pro will never ever reprice outside your min and max price. But let's say the buy box is below your minimum, all Profit Protector Pro will be able to do is sit at your minimum prices. That is as close as it can be to the buy box, and it's the best position ready for when the buy box does move back up. If it does, that way it can grab the buy box and hopefully work to bump the price up. But if you want Profit Protector Pro to compete for the buy box, it needs to be within your min and max range. Now, understandably, this might not be feasible for absolutely every single item. And let's say you have a listing where you have one seller that set a really obscure price, which is out of the range of everyone else on the listing. You can still go ahead and set the minimum and maximum price based on the normal range on the listing, and the seller might have one in stock, so they'll sell out really soon and the buy box will fall to everyone else's prices. And obviously you'll have Profit Protector Pro, so it's going to work to then win the buy box for you, it'll be back in the range. If you do have it where the buy box is out of range and it stays that way for a good while, you might want to reconsider your minimum and maximum prices, but ultimately it is up to you. Some of the strategies can also help you understand what to set for your minimum price, for example. So if you're using the super aggressive dominator, it will tell you in the strategy description that you need to set your minimum price to be at least $1 or £1 lower than the buy box price. That way it has wiggle room to go just underneath in order to scoop it up, then it can work to bump up the price. Now with the maximum price, you need to make sure that you definitely set a sensible one. So if you set your maximum price way too high, this can result in high price alerts. You could end up with a suppressed listing or a suppressed buy box where the add to basket and buy now options are removed from the listing, and you have to purely rely on people coming through to the listing and manually selecting you out of all of the sellers. And obviously having a buy box there increases your chances of making sales. So obviously we don't want a suppressed buy box. Now, setting a sensible maximum price. How do I know what is sensible? Well, if you check on the Amazon listing itself, it will give you a pricing range. So if you're wondering how exactly you can make sure that you have set a sensible maximum price, check the Amazon listing and that will give you a good range to work with. So let's say you have sellers that are at £20 on the listing and you have some sellers at a higher price at around £40 on the listing. You might want to consider setting your maximum price somewhere around that area, so around that £40 mark. If you set your maximum for like 190 or something like that, that is way out of proportion with everyone else that is on that listing with their kind of pricing range. So that's how you can help judge if the maximum price you have set is a sensible one, and if you have any high price alerts, you need to make sure that you action that as soon as possible and readjust your maximum price. Now, if you do want to check which of your items are at the min price or at the max price, you can initially see this on the dashboard page. So that can be a bit of a call to action. If you're wondering what exactly is at min or at max, you can then go through to the repricing page and use the filters. So you can select at min or at max. If you have any items that do have a suppressed buy box, you can also select this option. It might not be you that's caused it, but just in case, you can tick this and it will show you all of the items that have a suppressed buy box and you can readjust if necessary. You can also see the items that have the buy box below your minimum price, and then you can choose if you need to readjust the minimum prices in order to compensate for that and put the buy box back within range. That way Profit Protector Pro can compete for it, hopefully win it and make you sales and therefore profit. So hopefully this video has given you some useful tips for setting your minimum and maximum prices. Don't forget to save any of the price changes that you make, and I'll catch you back in the webinar. There we go. So just a couple of tips for helping you set your min and max pricing. Oh, hello. I didn't see that there. Hello to whoever that is. I cannot see a name, but hello anyway. Don't forget you can, I think there should be a link somewhere above me in the description. And if you click that, it will tell me who it is that has commented. Don't forget, if you have any questions or anything like that throughout the course of the webinar, please feel free to throw them at me, and I'll do my very best to answer them. So yeah, that was just a bit of guidance on min and max pricing. Hopefully that helps you, especially if you're new to the world of repricing and you're thinking, how do I even know what to set? A safe way to help you judge what to set would be by checking the Amazon listing itself. That's always really useful, getting an idea of the kind of range, and that can help you with setting your min and max. Don't worry if you have to go back and readjust at any point. That can happen. It is a normal occurrence. It won't be for absolutely everything, but you might have the occasional item where you need to go back and readjust, just in case things, like I say in the video, if they move out of your min and max range, and it stays that way, you might want to reconsider both your min and max, so that way you get the buy box back within range and Profit Protector Pro can compete for that. So next up is the custom strategies. Now, if you remember in the last one of these, I believe we did a talk on all of the strategies. So all of the preset strategies in Profit Protector Pro are amazing. They all have slightly different goals. So it's completely up to you what you want to do on those listings. That will determine which strategy you choose. But sometimes you might feel like you need to have your own say in how exactly Profit Protector Pro reprices. And this is where the custom strategies feature comes in. Really, really useful. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to play this video and I will catch you afterwards. So we're going to be talking through the custom strategies. Now, all of the repricing strategies in Profit Protector Pro work amazingly, but sometimes you might feel a little bit better if you have your own hand in the repricing, particularly if you come across a certain situation and you need Profit Protector Pro to do a certain something. So all you need to do is come through to this section here and then click on New Custom Strategy. Now it's going to open up this wizard for you, and then it will take you through a series of questions and scenarios, and all you need to do is answer them as you see fit. So what fulfillment method do you wish to compete with? So this could be everyone or just FBA sellers or merchant fulfilled. So let's say I'm an FBA seller and I just want to focus on the FBA competition. I'll select this option here. And then we can choose what condition we want to compete with. So we'll most likely want to compete with new. And if we are selling used goods, then we can select the used condition that we want to compete with as well. So let's go ahead and select new. Question 3, what should Profit Protector Pro do in this scenario? So now you have your scenario questions. There is no buy box, and there are other sellers with a selected fulfillment method and condition. So there's no buy box currently. It needs to come onto the listing. So we might want to do something like go to our minimum price, but there's lots of other options here. So we can go to the minimum price, maximum price, our break even. We can match another seller's low, mid or high price, and we can choose if that's the FBA or merchant fulfilled seller. We can go a certain amount over or under another seller's low, mid or high price, or the break even, and we can choose if that's the FBA or merchant fulfilled seller. If we do select this option, whether we express that as currency or as a percentage, we can enter in the exact amount that we want to go with. So there's no buy box, and there are other sellers with this selected fulfillment method and condition. For now, I'm going to go to my minimum price. What should Profit Protector Pro do in this scenario? There is no buy box and there are no other sellers with the selected fulfillment method and condition. So in this case, I may want to go to my max price. What should Profit Protector Pro do in this scenario? There is a buy box and there are other sellers with the selected fulfillment method and condition. So you have all of the same options as you go through. When you get to this one, you will have the option to match the buy box. So I'm going to select this option here. There is a buy box and there are no other sellers with the selected fulfillment method and condition. So again, I may want to go to my max price in this case. If you have the buy box, what repricing action do you want to take? So this is where things get a little bit different. So you can choose for it to do nothing, and you have the same options that you had before, and you have the additional option of switching strategy to one of the FBA algorithmic strategies, one of the merchant fulfilled ones, or the used goods and books algorithmic strategy. So you can change it up from here if you wish. So we have the buy box. What repricing action do you want to take? So I might switch to the hybrid profit harvester to see if it can make me a bit more of a profit. And then we move into automations from question 8. Automations you can set up in the automation section as well, so please don't feel like you need to go ahead and do this. You can do this, it's completely up to you. But for the custom strategies, we will end it there, and I will talk about the automations in the next video. So that is basically how you set up a custom strategy. It is completely up to you how you want to do this. It is your custom strategy. Now, once you've gone ahead and made the strategy and you're happy with it, you can go and save it. You can give it a name. So let's name it here. And you can give it a description if you like to remind yourself of how exactly it works. And then we can just save that. And then the strategy will appear in this list here. So we can see all of our strategies. We can make as many as we like. We can see our descriptions. We can see the last time that we edited it. And then we need to turn it on and mark it as active. This way it will then appear in our strategy drop-down list when we go back into the repricing page. We can view how we set this up using the information button here. We can go back in and edit the answers to the questions using the pencil icon, or if we no longer need this strategy, we can go ahead and delete it. So let's take a look in the repricing page, and if we go to strategy, we can see the custom strategy that we just set up then and there. So those are the custom strategies. Go ahead and give them a try if you haven't done so already, and back to the webinar. So that was custom strategies. One thing that I realized while I was watching that video with you guys, I mean, I don't know if it's different on Facebook Live. It could very well be different. But for me, from what I can see, I didn't realize how much it cuts off at the bottom of the video. So where I think that you can like see my shoulders and stuff, it's literally just my head. So I'm just a floating talking head at the bottom of the screen. I didn't realize that. So that's kind of funny. Those are custom strategies, which I think is an amazing feature within Profit Protector Pro. So not only do you have a choice of so many preset strategies, both algorithmic and rule-based, some that are focused on FBA, some that are focused on merchant fulfilled, some that are aggressive, some that are a bit more passive and profit focused. All of that, I mean, that range there is amazing. But the ability to be able to create your own is just wow. It's just another great thing about using Profit Protector Pro. And you may find that you do need to use one at some point. So it's really handy to know that the option is there, to know the types of questions that it's going to ask you. And of course, you just need to answer them however it is that you want to answer them. You are setting what the strategy is going to do. You're choosing how Profit Protector Pro reprices. That can come in really, really handy for a certain situation that you have in mind. So custom strategies always goes hand in hand with automations, just because at the end of the custom strategy, it will then take you into automations and you can go ahead and set one up. As I said in the video, you don't have to do that. You can just leave it as the custom strategy. But if you are interested in making an automation, even if you're using a preset strategy, you can still add an automation to the item as well. So this is the automations video. Don't forget, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them my way. This is the automations video, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So in this talking about the automations feature. Now, the automations are amazing because they allow you to be a lot more hands-free in your business. So instead of you going back to your inventory and checking things over and over and over and over to see if you need to change anything at all, let's say if they weren't making any sales for a certain period of time, instead of going back in and trying to figure out which ones are doing that and which ones you need to change, you can set up an automation and this will do the work for you, meaning that you can focus on other areas of your business. So let's go ahead and check out how the automations work. Now, what you need to do is come into this section and click on new automation. Now, you can choose if you want to go through this in the wizard view, which is the same as the custom strategies, or the flow view. Now, for this demonstration, we're going to use the flow view. So let's select that. You can go ahead and give your automation a name, and then you need to select your conditions. There's a lot of options in here. So select an option after an automation has been active for, when seller numbers increase or decrease to, when stock falls below, when no sales have occurred for, if the buy box goes below minimum, if buy box goes above maximum. So let's say, for example, we have an item and there has been no sales for, let's say there's been no sales for 3, and you can choose from days, weeks, or months. So let's say there's been no sales for 3 days. Now we have a couple of options that we can choose from after this. So we can go to our min or max price. We can switch the strategy. We can match another seller's price. So whether that's the low FBA price, the high FBA price, the mid merchant fulfilled price, the buy box price. We can go a certain amount over or under someone else's price. And we can express this as a currency value or a percentage. So let's say no sales have occurred for 3 days. Let's go to our minimum in the hopes that that can help us win the buy box. Now, let's add another condition. Let's say that our stock then falls below. Let's say we had 10 and it falls below 4. We may want to work to not run out of this item so fast that way we have time to replenish it, so we have an ongoing stream of stock. So at this point we may want to switch the strategy. Let's say we're on the aggressive strategy, so we could switch it to the balance, which might be a little bit more chilled. So hopefully that can help us conserve our inventory a little bit more. And then let's say if seller numbers on the listing increase to, let's say there were only a handful before, so maybe 4 of the sellers, let's say it increases to something like 10. We may then want to do something like match the buy box price. That way we can ensure that we have a hold over it. So you can make the automation as complex or as simple as you like. You can add as many conditions, you can make as many automations as you like, and it's completely up to you how you set these up. But the idea of the automations, as I say, is to help you become a lot more hands-free in your business. So instead of going back and making these changes yourself, leave it to the automation, and if this exact scenario occurs, Profit Protector Pro will carry out your preset action for you. So let's go ahead and save this. we can see that the automation has appeared in the list, so we can see the last time it was edited. If we had the wizard view, we can enter in a description as well, and that will appear here. We need to make sure that it's marked as active so it appears in the automation drop down list. We can go back and edit it using the pencil icon, or we can delete it using the bin icon. So if we go into the repricing page here, we can then see our automation there. And if that exact scenario applies and the automation is active on the listing, we'll see the active status appear here next to where it says automation. So that is the automation section in Profit Protector Pro. Back to the webinar. So that was automations, and that is one of my favorite things to tell people about when they ask, what can Profit Protector Pro do? Because even for nothing else, you can kind of treat it as like a plan B. If things kind of go south on a listing, you have that automation in place to kind of save you in a way. So we've all got our like grovels with Amazon listings and things like that, and where we go, it's not made sales in X amount of days. Like now I've got to go in, find these items that haven't made sales and try and remember like how many days they haven't sold for, and like compare this to this and this to try and find out which items that we need to alter. Just set an automation. It means that it does a lot of the work for you. It saves you so much time. So if you set it to something like if there's been no sales for 3 days to switch to a more aggressive strategy, you don't have to do anything. If that exact scenario occurs, the automation becomes active. You might not even need the automation, but it's just there anyway. If you've set one up and you've applied it to a listing, it's just there anyway. So in case something happens, you've got it there to save you. So automations are amazing. I definitely recommend trying one out if you haven't done so already. You can make as many as you like, so you can literally prepare for so many scenarios. You can get to do so many things. You can apply different automations to different listings. It's just an amazing feature. So I don't think there's any questions or comments as of yet. So we are going to move on to the next video. And if you're already currently watching, please stick around for the last video because this one is pretty cool. So we're going to watch this next video now, and I'll catch you in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to talk you through the bulk inventory section and explain what this can do for you. So in Profit Protector Pro, there are a couple of different ways to enter in things like your min and max prices. So you can do this manually one by one in the repricing page. You can set up min and max automation rules in your settings and get the software to work out your min and max prices for you. Or you can use the bulk inventory section, which is great because it allows you to amend lots of items all at the same time quickly in a spreadsheet. So there's a couple of different options that you have on this page. So you can download the full inventory CSV, which is everything. You can download just what's in stock into a CSV file. You can download an inventory CSV by filters. So when you click on this, you can filter exactly what you want to see in that spreadsheet. So it could be a specific set of items. You can tick as many filters as you like. So let's say it was just FBA items that need a min and a max entering in. Because that's important. The items do need a min and a max in order for you to turn them on for repricing in Profit Protector Pro. Then you just go ahead and click on export. Or you have the blank template CSV option. So this one is great because it gives you the spreadsheet format, and it kind of works similarly to the base function of the Chrome extension. So you can set up items repricing information in advance, but you can do this in bulk. So you can add in all of the items that you want to add into the spreadsheet, enter in all of the repricing information, upload that into Profit Protector Pro, and those items repricing informations will be set up ahead of time, meaning that you can get to the game a whole lot sooner. Please bear in mind that you should take a look at the key tables here so that way you know what to enter in exactly into the spreadsheet, or you understand certain bits a whole lot better. So we will come back to this in a moment. So let's go ahead and download a full inventory CSV and open that up. So this is what the spreadsheet looks like. By the way, if you are struggling with understanding how to use this on your operating system, just check which one you're using at the top here. And what spreadsheet software you're using, and following these tutorial videos will tell you how exactly to do it. If you're using Windows and Excel, or using Mac with numbers, or using Google Sheets, and it will walk you through so that way you can understand how to do it on your own operating system and with your own spreadsheet software. So this is what the spreadsheet looks like. Now, some of the things that you don't want to touch would be things like the SKU ASIN, the marketplace, and the title, because changing these things won't actually change anything. It might just cause errors with the spreadsheet. So then when you upload it and you've done all this work, it will probably tell you to go back and check X amount of items where you've touched something like the title, for example, and it may just not work. So I'd advise avoiding those things, but anything else you can change. So things like the min, max price, the buy price, the break even. So the strategy is where the key table comes in really useful. So let's say, for example, you wanted to apply the super aggressive dominator to an item. You just need to enter in the number 20. So if that was this item, for example, we just enter that in there. And as I say, you've got that key there. So for match buy box, it's number 1 and so forth. If you're trying to understand what country the item is set in, you have the key table here. So obviously UK for United Kingdom, FR for France and so forth. Let's go back into the spreadsheet. For the custom strategy, you need to make sure that you've turned it on in Profit Protector Pro, and you enter in the exact custom strategy name that you have set for that custom strategy within Profit Protector Pro, so it knows which one to apply. Same for the automation as well. So enter in that exact automation name that you wish to apply to the item if you want to apply an automation. And then if the item is eligible for small and light or the EFN or PAN toggle, then you want to apply those fees and get Profit Protector Pro to take this into account. Then leave it as 0 for off or switch it to 1 if you want to turn these toggles on, and Profit Protector Pro will then acknowledge this. And if you are working with a different VAT percentage for whatever reason to your standard one, you can enter that into the VAT override. So for example, in the UK, you might have some grocery items that have 0% VAT. So it won't have the standard 20%, you need to enter in 0% into the VAT override. If you know you're working with a different VAT percentage, you have the option to enter that number into this column here. But just make sure that you keep this file as a CSV, save it as such, and once you're happy with the CSV file, so let's go ahead and save this. So let's export this as a CSV. Save webinar. So that is now saved. Let's go ahead and upload this into Profit Protector Pro. Upload this one, open. And then this will be ready to upload into Profit Protector Pro. When you're happy for it to go ahead and process this, you just need to click on upload, and then it will tell you that it is either a success and it's processing those changes as we speak, or it will come up with a red error and it will give you a list of the items that there are issues with. So in which case you need to go back and check on those items and make sure that everything is corrected before you go ahead and re-upload. So that is the bulk inventory section. Don't forget, if you do get stuck with this, you have all of the tutorial videos at the top here and also in the training video section in the help page in the software. So that is the bulk inventory section. Back to the webinar. So there we go, bulk inventory. That is an amazing way to enter in lots of specific information for your items, but all in one easy place. So that's the perk to using a spreadsheet. You can literally just flick through. I think you can literally just do it with arrows, just down price, or you can literally just click and drag and it'll copy that same price into multiple places, and lots of other things. So doing it on a spreadsheet is a whole lot easier. It makes the job a whole lot quicker as well. Can't talk. It makes the process a whole lot quicker as well. That's what I was meant to say. And because you're not using like rules or anything like that, you have complete power over what it is that you set for all of your items, for whether it's the buy price, the break even, the min, the max, the strategy, the custom strategy, the automation, whatever it is that you set, you have full say over what it is that is done in that spreadsheet. Don't forget to keep it as a CSV file. If you are struggling with it in terms of, let's say you've filled everything out in the spreadsheet correctly, let's say you're using Excel or something like that, you have done everything correctly and you go to save it and then upload it into Profit Protector Pro and you're getting errors and you're not understanding why those errors are there because everything looks perfect in the spreadsheet. It could be that something is changing with the format at the moment where you go to save it or something like that. So if you do find that you're coming across that problem, don't feel stuck. Using a Google Sheet, there shouldn't be any of those kinds of problems. So you can use that as a plan B if your first plan goes wrong. So Google Sheets are a great way of making sure that you don't come across that exact error, but hopefully you don't have any errors anyway. So that was the bulk inventory, and now we are moving on to our final video of the training webinar, which is all about the Profit Protector Pro app. Now, I already say this in the video anyway, but shortly after Profit Protector Pro got its brand new user interface, which we hope you are all still enjoying because it's great, the app got a fresh new update as well. Lots more got added into it, and it is 10 times more useful than it already was. So I'm not going to give too much away. I'm going to let the video do the talking, and then we'll come back and I'll answer any questions that happen to be there at the end. Yeah, I'll catch you in a few minutes. So we're going to do a quick tour of the Profit Protector Pro app because this had a fresh new update just like the web page, and this is amazing because you have the full power of repricing right there in your pocket. You can reprice on the go. So if you're waiting in a queue, if you're on the beach, wherever it is that you are, you can literally just get your phone out, amend min and max prices, turn things on for repricing, and so much more, all from within the app. This is available on iOS and Android, so I'd heavily recommend trying it out as it's part of your subscription. So right now we're on the products page. This is everything in your inventory, and all of the items will have the same kinds of information. So you'll have the item image, the title, the SKU, the ASIN, you'll have the BSR number, the stock level, and you can remove the item using the bin icon. You can select the marketplace you're in. We just have it in the UK for this demonstration, but if you have it in more marketplaces, that will appear as well. You can turn on the SNL toggle if the item is eligible for small and light, so that way Profit Protector Pro knows to take that into account. You can mark it as a favorite using the star. It will be preset to FBA or FBM depending on which one is correct, but you can change that if you need to. You can also change it from retail to wholesale or vice versa. So if you have it set to retail, you need to enter in the buy price including VAT, and if it's wholesale, it's the buy price excluding VAT, and Profit Protector Pro will take that into account. You can enter in your buy price in this field, and you can also enter in a VAT override percentage. So if you know you're working with a different VAT rate for whatever reason, you can enter that into that field there, and Profit Protector Pro will take that into account as well. You have some information about what's going on the listing. So you have the buy box price, you have the low FBA price, you have the to buy box, so how far away you are from getting the buy box, the current price, and based on that current price, it will then estimate your profit and ROI. You can enter in your break even, so you're not making a profit nor a loss. You can enter in your min price as well, and your max price, so it has the pricing parameters. And don't forget, if you make any changes, to save those changes using the button that appears. You can then go ahead and select a repricing strategy. So that's all of the preset strategies within Profit Protector Pro. And as well as that, you can also set an automation. So any of the automations you've created in the web page and you've turned on as active will appear in this list. So you can set an automation if you wish. And beyond that, you can automate the break even and min max if you've set the min and max rules in Profit Protector Pro, and it's going to work out these prices for you. You can automate it just for this marketplace, or you can automate it for all marketplaces using that button below. So this is a great way to work through your min and max prices faster if you've set rules that you're happy with. Now let's move over to the min and max prices page. So this is a condensed view of your inventory, so you can very quickly just run through everything, setting min and max prices as you go. Don't forget to save, and so it's just a quick way of doing that. Let's go back to the products page. Here as well, you can turn on the item for repricing once you're happy with the min and max price that you've set. As well as this, you can analyze the Buybot Pro. So this is linked to the Buybot Go app. So you can go ahead, open up the item in Buybot Go, enter in the buy price and sell price, and you get the full analysis with all of those useful results for the item. So you might be replenishing it, for example, and this is really useful to see. You have the chart data here as well, so the historical information for that item. Let's go back into the app. You can search listings as well to quickly find something in your inventory. You can use the filters, so there's lots of different filters here. You can filter by marketplace, just to view specific marketplaces. You can use the filters, so you can tick as many of these as you like to show a specific section of your inventory, whichever applies to those filters. You can do it by strategy as well, and you can sort by lots of different options, so oldest to newest, A to Z, and so much more. So there's lots of ways to quickly find things in your inventory. In your settings, you can change things like your name and email and account settings. You can set up your min and max rules in the min and max automation settings. You can set your break even settings as well, so any fees and such. So Profit Protector Pro knows to take this information into account. Please keep that the same as Buybot Pro. You can link Profit Protector Pro up to your Amazon Seller Central account as well using the Amazon settings. You can delete your account if you wish, and you can log out at the bottom. So there's so much you can do within the app, and as well as all of this, you can use the PPP boost. Now this is not your overall profit, but additional profit that Profit Protector Pro has helped generate by making sales above the buy box. You have this information for the last 30 days and for all time. So basically on the go, you can keep checking how much Profit Protector Pro is helping you, how much additional profit that the software is helping generate by selling above the buy box price. So as you can see, the app is super powerful. Don't forget it's available on both iOS and Android. It's part of your Profit Protector Pro subscription. If you aren't using it already, I'd heavily recommend you doing so. The update is amazing. There's so much in there. And back to the webinar. So that is the Profit Protector Pro app. Again, that has had such a major upgrade along with a new user interface in Profit Protector Pro. As I said in the video, it is part of your Profit Protector Pro subscription. So if you aren't already using it, I'd heavily recommend that you do so. I mean, just imagine you're, I don't know, waiting at a doctor's appointment or something like that. I mean, whilst you're waiting there, like time is money. So you could just be sitting there and instead of just like looking around or reading one of like the gossip magazines or something like that, you could be potentially helping your inventory in Profit Protector Pro, helping the software grab that buy box for you to make you money. Just sitting there, just using the app. Just, oh yeah, that's the min, that's the max. Turn on for repricing, boom, sorted. So if you haven't had the chance to check out everything that the app can do now, I'd heavily recommend that you do so because there are a lot more features that have been placed into the app in the new update. So that is the Profit Protector Pro deep dive training webinar for this month. Thank you to everyone that has watched. We will be doing another one of these next month. If you are a BuyBot Pro user, then I will see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully this is recorded, so it should go up on YouTube. And don't forget to look out for the weekly YouTube videos as well. I've been Matt. Thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Catch you next time.